Assalamualaikum sir, my name is Zulhilmi bin Abdul Jamal. Me and my two other team members, which is Aiman Naim and Muzaffar, will present our project, which is EIA, stands for Environmental Impact Assessment for Hydraulic Structure. Before we go deeper in EIA for hydraulic structure, let me introduce you what is EIA actually is. So the first point is systematic approach. The EIA systematically forecasts and assesses the potential environmental consequences of hydraulic project. So the second point, decision making aid. So why the EIA is important in decision making aid? Because of they are actually helping the stakeholder to make their choice in underscore sustainable development in water management in this project. So the third point is impact mitigation. So the impact mitigation is a pivotal for devising strategies to combat the negative environmental impact effectively. So here the EIA is actually trying to make them lesser for the impact for the human and flora and fauna. Why EIA for hydraulic structure? So why here? Okay, the first group is why. Because of biodiversity preservation. The EIA helps identify and assess the potential impact on local flora and fauna, and by understanding the ecological dynamics, mitigation measure can be implemented to preserve biodiversity and protect endangered species. So the second point is water quality management. So this part is very important to us and for flora and fauna, because of hydraulic structure can alter water quality through change in sediment transport and nutrient cycling. EIA also evaluate the potential impact on water quality and recommends measures to prevent the pollution and ensuring the health of aquatic system. The third point is habitat protection. The assessment process consider the potential disruption of habitat caused by construction activities and alter water flow. The EIA also provide a recommendation for habitat protection and restoration to minimize adverse effect on local ecosystem. So the last point is why EIA hydraulic for structure is migration patterns. Many aquatic species rely on specific migration patterns. EIA also assess how hydraulic structure may impact this movement and suggest measures such as fish passage to facilitate the continuity of migratory routes. So the next slide is show us about EIA process step. So the first point here is scoping. The scoping is identification of principal environmental issue to be addressed. Second step, baseline data. So the EIA gathering critical pre-existing environmental condition data. The third step is impact assessment. The projection of potential impact craft for mitigation planning. So the fourth step is mitigation measure. A creation of strategy of mitigation adverse effect. The fifth step is public consultation. So the public consultation is about essential stakeholder engagement for comprehensive feedback. So this part is very important. So we know we know how the project will go. Okay, so the sixth step is reporting and decision making. So this point is about presenting and synthesis finding to authorities for project solution. For any other step, we are considering the step in the sixth step first before we go the next step. So in this project, we choose a tasik kenyir for our EIA in hydraulic structure. So why we choose this dam is because of geological suitability. Tasik kenyir geological framework ideally support earth dam construction. Second point, topographical adaptation. The dam's design demonstrate exceptional conformance to local topography. And the third point is why we choose this dam is because about ecosystem balance. Striking a balance between water resource efficiency and environmental integrity, because the dam need efficient resource of water to conduct the hydraulic structure. So for this slide is about flora and fauna data collection in Tasik Kenyir. So we have found this data article presents the diversity of flora and selected fauna in Tasik Kenyir, Malaysia. This man-made lake once suffered huge loss of biodiversity for allowing an earth dam construction during 1980s. Series of publication on different type of target taza have been published separately after the post-dam construction. A biodiversity assessment was conducted in Tasik Kenyir from March 2015 until February 2016. So we got here a data collection for flora and fauna. So for trees, is the number tell us about 113. The species documented in the Lake Lush Forest. So the second is butterfly. So the butterfly is about 217 colorful butterfly species indicating ecosystem. So the lastly we found about this data is about 267 birds for varieties of variant avian life, showcasing biodiversity richness. So for this slide, we have found out the water quality in Tasik Kenyir. So we also summarize all the water quality in Tasik Kenyir in one data. And the summary is BOD level, biochemical oxygen demand is higher in downstream, indicative of pollution source. So the second summarize, we have got a pH, potential of hydrogen, and DO values, dissolved oxygen. Downstream trends suggest alter aquatic environment for these two. So the last summarize we got is WQI classification. So the WQI is actually stands for Water Quality Index. We have found that this WQI falls into class 2, that status require progressive management for water use.
Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Muhammad Ibrahim bin Muhammad Shukri. Today I want to tell about the impact analysis of the dam structure. When we build a dam, it have three impact. Firstly is ecosystem impact. Secondly is water resources, and lastly community impact. Ecosystem effect. hydraulic structure alter water flow. When we build a dam, the water flow will be changed, so it can impact to the aquatic habitat and biodiversity. The change of the water flow patterns, it can disrupt ecosystem downstream and can affecting the distribution of flora and fauna. So for example, imagine a river landscape transformed by a dam. Upstream, the water will be slow behind the structure. It also can creating a reservoir. Downstream, alter flow pattern effect. So the flow pattern will be effect to the once lush habitat, influencing the arrangement of plant and aquatic life. Please visualize how the hydraulic structure can reshape the ecosystem. Interconnection will be impact on the biodiversity. Okay, so for the second impact is water resources. Water flow will be changed, can lead to the change in water availability and the quality of water. So when the modification of upstream may influence sediment transport and the nutrient cycling, overall health of it can impact of the health of aquatic environment. Upstream construction or development alters the natural course of a river. As flow are modified, sediment can use to settle naturally and now disturbed. So the affecting is the riverbed and potentially it can lead to increase the erosion at downstream. So the disturbance can impact nutrient cycling, like I was said, and it can influencing the delicate balance that sustain the aquatic life. And then it have a consequence. The consequence is a ripple effect of water quality and availability, and it can potential for harming the overall health of aquatic ecosystem life. So for the third impact, it is a community's impact. So when the dams with the local communities may experience a change of water availability for agriculture or domestic use. Additionally, the change of flow pattern can increase a flood risk or impact to recreational activities and affecting the well-being of nearby residents. So I give some example. So an example of this could be a dam construction project that alter the natural flow pattern of a river. So if the dam is not properly managed, downstream communities may face a change in water availability and agriculture or domestic use. Moreover, the change of flow pattern could increase the risk of flood. So it can cause a flood in a certain area and can impacting the well-being of residents and affecting recreational activities along a riverbank. Okay, so next I will explain the mitigation measure when we build a dam. So firstly is we can create a fish passage, and secondly flow regulation, make a flow regulation, and lastly is habitat restoration. So for the fish passage, it can construct a fish friendly passage and can help maintain of aquatic biodiversity by facilitating fish migration around the hydraulic structure. For example, when a dam is built across a river, it creates a barrier for migration fish that need to travel upstream to spawn. Fish ladder are constructed with a series of steps, one by one. So it have a pool or chamber that mimic the natural condition of a river. This step can provide a series of resting place where the fish can swim against the current, allowing them to navigate around the dam. As fish encounter each step, they leap or swim through the water. Gradually, the fish passage, it takes into account the swimming capabilities and behavior of different fish species of ensure their effective use. So this infrastructure is crucial for maintaining the aquatic biodiversity because it can enable the fish population to access their spawning habitat and contribute to the health and sustainability for the ecosystem. So secondly, flow regulation. The flow regulation can implementing mechanism to regulate a water flow fluctuation. It can reduce a risk of downstream flooding and prevent the stability of ecosystem. For example, the flow regulation to mitigate flooding and preserve ecosystem stability is the construction of retention basin. And then this basin, also known as detention pond, are strategically placed area designed to temporarily store excess water during period of heavy rainfall or snow melt like for Europe. By the capturing and slowly releasing water, retention basin can help to regulate the flow downstream, and suddenly it can preventing damage surges. Furthermore, it also can reservoir another example of flow regulation. Dams are constructed to create a reservoir storing water during times of high flow and release the water gradually during the period. This control release can help to manage downstream and control the level of water and reduce the risk of flooding and maintaining more stable environment for the aquatic life and ecosystem. Okay, lastly, habitat restoration. Investing in projects to restore or create the habitat can offset the negative impact. This may involve like replanting vegetation, creating artificial habitat, or restoring a natural flow pattern. So like for example, the habitat that is restoration is the conversion of degraded agricultural land back into a natural habitat. Like a piece of land was previously used for farming but has since suffered from soil degradation and loss of biodiversity. So a restoration project could involve for replanting native vegetation, and it also can create a wildlife friendly feature like ponds or nesting sites. Implementing practice to restore natural soil fertility. And then this this effort can bring back more diverse and resilient ecosystem, and then it can support a various plant and animal species. So it will give a good impact for environment and ecosystem. Okay, and then baseline environmental study. So in the baseline environmental study, it could have three. Firstly, biodiversity assessment. Secondly, water quality monitoring, and lastly, ecosystem dynamic. Biodiversity assessment, it like to identify the document of the species present in the area, understanding their role in the ecosystem, and evaluate how hydraulic structure might affect to the species. For example, you can imagine a river ecosystem undergoing a biodiversity assessment before a dam construction, for example. So ecologists would conduct a survey to identify the biodiversity, the various of fish species that have at that area, and also a plant life present in the river and its surrounding. They might discover multiple fish species, including migratory ones that rely on the river for spawning. The assessment would also identify the specific invertebrate crucial for nutrient cycling in the ecosystem, and various plant species providing habitat that can provide stabilizing the riverbank. Once biodiversity is documented, ecologists can evaluate how the construction of a dam might impact to the species, the fish or the plant. They might consider how the alter or the change of flow pattern in water temperature or disruption of sediment transport could affect the different organism in the ecosystem. So when make this, it can help to make inform the decision about how to mitigate and can avoid the potential of negative before the construction will be run. Okay, so next, water quality monitoring system. It can establish a baseline water quality parameter such as the chemical composition and the nutrient level in the water, and it can help to detect the any change by the hydraulic structure. I give some example. Water quality monitoring is it can conducting a regular test river ecosystem before and after construction. For example, we make a dam structure. So before the dam's construction, baseline measurement would be taken to establish the chemical composition and nutrient level and other relevant parameter of the water. So we will take the sample before construction and after construction. If it will be changed, so it has some problem there. For instance, the monitoring might reveal the river as a certain like pH level, specific nutrient concentration, and a particular mix of dissolved oxygen. Ongoing water quality assessment can detect any change caused by the hydraulic structure. For example, there is a significant alteration in nutrient level or decline in dissolved oxygen downstream of the dam. So it could be indicate a potential environmental impact that may need to be addressed to maintain the health and aquatic life in the ecosystem. Okay, for the last is ecosystem dynamics. The ecosystem dynamic is a study the natural dynamic of the ecosystem, including sediment transport, nutrient cycling, and seasonal variation. So this can provide a reference for evaluate the alteration due to the hydraulic structure. Okay, I give some example. They might observe the regular flooding and receding of water level, which naturally transport sediment and contribute to the nutrient cycling in the wetland. So this baseline will serve as a reference point. Now, I give more example. If a hydraulic structure like a leaf is introduced to control water flow in the wetland, so the researcher can monitor how the natural dynamics are altered, so they will know the change of the natural. They may study the change or like sediment transport, sediment deposition, and the availability of the nutrient, and the response of plant and animal species to understand the ecosystem resilience. And it also adaptability in the face of human-induced modification. So this composition collectively contribute to a comprehensive environment impact assessment. It can help we to understand the potential and consequence of hydraulic structure on dams, and can inform the effective of mitigation strategies. So that is all for me. For the next section, I will pass for Ahmad Muzaffar. Thank you.
Okay, next we go to the impact analysis of dam construction. So for the impact analysis of dam construction has 3 points. The first one is local ecosystem, and the second one is water resources, and the third one is communities. So we go to the first one, local ecosystem. This section will delve into the potential impacts of the dam on things like the diversity and abundance of plant and animal life, aquatic and terrestrial habitats, and overall health of the ecosystem. It will also likely assess changes in the water quality and quantity. And then we go to the water resources. Here, you examine how the dam will affect the flow of water downstream, sediment transport patterns, and overall water availability. Changes in flooding patterns, salinization, and groundwater level will also be important consideration. Okay, and then we go to the third point, communities. This section will analyze the socio-economic impact of the dam on nearby communities. This could include displacement of residents, changes in the livelihood, impact on culture and traditional practice, potential benefits like irrigation or improved water supply, and strategies for ensuring fair competition and public engagement. Okay, next point is mitigation measure for sustainable dam project. So at here we got 3 points, and we go to the first point, that is fish ladder. These are structure that allow fish to bypass a dam by migrate upstream to spawn. They are important for protecting fish population that would otherwise be blocked by the dam sometimes. And then flow optimization. This involves managing the release of water from the dam in a way that mimics the natural flow of the river that can help to maintain downstream ecosystems and support fish populations. Okay, and the last point is habitat reclamation. This involves restoring or recreating habitat that has been lost or damaged by the dam constructions. This can include planting trees and shrubs along the banks of the reservoir, creating islands or nesting birds, and restoring wetlands. These are all important measures for mitigating the negative impact of dams on environment. However, it is important to note that they are not always effective. For example, fish ladder can be bypassed by some fish species, and flow optimization may not be possible in all cases. Additionally, habitat reclamation can be a long-term process that may not be fully successful. Overall, the goal of mitigation measures is to reduce the negative impacts of the dam on environment. However, it is important to remember that the dam still have a significant impact, and even with mitigation measures in place. So we go to the next point, is comprehensive dam project planning. Okay, now we go to the last point of EIA, is comprehensive dam project planning. It is a framework built on three bedrock principles. The first one is interdisciplinary analysis. Picture it: ecologists, geologists, engineers, and more huddle, waving their expertise to a depth of understanding. This isn't just about rock and water. It's about the delicate symphony of life thriving around them. We meticulously assess potential impact on flora and fauna and the very pulse of the ecosystems. And the second one, regulatory synergy. We don't build a vacuum. Legislation sets the bar and we dance with it, not against it. Our plan is harmonized with the environmental regulations, ensuring project integrity. This meticulous alignment safeguards not just the dam, but the environment it interacts with. And then, the community and culture. A dam is just a concrete and steel. It's a thread woven into the fabric of people's lives. We listen to the whispers of traditions, understand the rhythm of communities, and navigate the social implications with empathy. By collaborating with local voices, we ensure development respect cherishes ways of life, fostering cultural sustainability. This interweaving of science, law, social conscience creates a blueprint for responsible dam project. It's not about building dams. It's about building a future where progress and nature coexist, where communities thrive alongside innovations. And the conclusion, a comprehensive EIA delves into the dam's impact on environment, water, and society. Data on flora, fauna, water, and people form the basis for assessing complex interactions. Mitigation measures like fish passage and habitat restoration minimize adverse effects. Baseline studies, impact predictions, and mitigation strategies all align with environmental principles and regulations, showcasing a commitment to responsible and sustainable hydraulic engineering. So that's all from our group. Thank you very much.